In the year 2000, India was a nation of stark contrasts. On one side, an untouchable Bollywood elite lived amidst flashing cameras and glamour. On the other, hundreds of millions of ordinary citizens navigated stagnant economic realities, far removed from that wealth. At the absolute pinnacle of that elite was Amitabh Bachchan, widely crowned the star of the millennium. But behind closed doors, his production company had collapsed, leaving him drowning in debt and facing financial ruin. To stave off bankruptcy, he was offered a lifeline that no megastar of his stature had ever considered: hosting a television game show. The concept was an adaptation of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, a massive British hit. While the trivia format was viable in the UK, it remained an unproven concept in the Indian cultural landscape. Accepting this offer was a colossal professional gamble. Transitioning from the silver screen to the small television box was widely considered career suicide for a leading man. It signaled defeat. Yet this desperate bet by a failing superstar would ironically create a platform for everyday citizens to rewrite their own destinies. The engine of this new platform was simple: a singular hot seat where a solitary contestant faced a gauntlet of 15 general knowledge questions. This latter graphic shows exactly how the psychological tension escalated. Each correct answer didn't add a static amount. The prize money grew exponentially alongside the difficulty, culminating in massive leaps at the top tiers. To keep the crushing pressure from overwhelming the player, the game introduced safety nets. Contestants could deploy lifelines to narrow down choices, poll the studio audience, or phone a friend for help. These tools did something brilliant for the broadcast. They turned millions of passive television viewers into active participants, mentally debating which lifeline to use from the edge of their living room couches. The game functioned as a calculated psychological gauntlet, demonstrating that human intellect could be directly converted into hard currency. For the first time on Indian television, the narrative focus shifted away from wealthy elites and onto the contestants. The heroes of the broadcast were working-class citizens, teachers, farmers, and civil servants. The hot seat acted as a social equalizer. It stripped away geography, caste, and inherited wealth. In that chair, only a person's knowledge mattered, and the dynamic was anchored by Bachchan himself. Instead of acting like a superior quizmaster, he treated these common citizens with a level of reverence and respect they rarely experienced in public life. He bridged the class divide with specific, respectful language, greeting the audience with Devion or Sajeno, ladies and gentlemen, and building tension with his catchphrase, La Kia Jai. His empathetic hosting transformed a trivia game into an intimate national conversation, giving dignity to the everyday person on a massive scale. Zooming out, the show turned education into a national competition, scaling the incentive to learn across a population of 1 billion. Behavioral shifts rippled across the country. Millions began devouring daily newspapers, tracking current affairs, driven by the desire to feel connected to the phenomenon. The broadcast became a mandatory nightly ritual. Regular life ground to a halt as multi-generational families crammed together around a single screen, turning it into a communal experience. The program achieved what traditional schooling often struggled to do. It made the pursuit of knowledge a desirable currency rather than a tedious obligation. 25 years later, the results of this experiment are clear. That television gamble rebuilt Amitabh Bachchan's career, restoring him to a legendary status. Beyond the studio, the prize money filtered into small towns, funding local educations, clearing ancestral debts, and shifting the economic trajectory for winners who had previously lived on the margins. To change the trajectory of your life, you don't always need inherited wealth or elite connections. You need the right information, a moment of courage, and an unwavering belief in the power of your own mind. If you were given the chance, would you dare to sit in the hot seat?